Hello everyone. Our today's topic is a short story, A Shadow by R K Narayan. R K Narayan, as we all know, is the very popular short story writer. He has also written a few novels, and his short stories are famous for the imaginary town that he has created. So let's begin. First of all, let's see what is a short story. A short story is a piece of prose fiction that typically can be read in one sitting and focuses on an important incident in the life of the protagonist. So, short story, it's meant to be read in one single sitting. So, it should be short, really short. And it is imaginary. So, there are characters, there is setting, there is a situation. So, further, we have the six elements of a short story, which are character, plot, thought or point of view, setting, narration style, and theme. Now, Narayan is known for realism in his stories. His stories, although imaginary, his setting, Malgudi, is also imaginary, but still the characters are so lively that it seems that we know them. We have lived with them and we are very familiar with everything happening in the story. Narayan's stories are all located in the imaginary town called Malgudi. Malgudi is a fictional town located in South India in the novels and short stories of R K Narayan. All his novels, all his short stories are located in Malgudi. His stories have moral in them like all other short stories. And first, the stories were published in 1943, before independence. So we can see that the town of Malgudi has a mix of culture, tradition, and modernity. Even the characters, even our situation is such that they face contradictions, they face issues. There is psychological analysis of the character's mind in the stories, and Narayan loves opening the mind of the character. Now, Malgudi Days, there is also a serial made by Doordarshan on the short stories of R K Narayan by the same name, Malgudi Days. His novels have also been made into a movie like The Guide, where the actor was Devanand. It's an old movie. Now, let's move on to the story A Shadow by Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Narayan. The main character in this story, the protagonist, is Sambhu, a 14-year-old boy. The setting, as usual, is Malgudi, the imaginary town created by Narayan. The plot is the third person narration. Both Sambhu and his mother have difficulty letting Sambhu's father go. Now, Sambhu's father is already dead. He died 6 months ago. But both of them are still not accepting the fact. So, the theme of the story is grief, letting go, struggle, connection, loss, acceptance, loneliness, and memories. The memories which come back when the father's movie in which he acted is in the cinema halls. Now, the point of view in the story is that Sambhu wished to escape into watching his father on the screen and cannot compensate him or how he now feels. Shambhu likes watching the movie. Shambhu knows that his father is no longer with them, but he would not leave any opportunity to spend time with his father, unlike his mother, of course. And there is an ending, there is a conclusion where a moment of realization comes when he realizes that what he's seeing in the cinema is not real and he cries. So, let's start with the analysis of the story. When we have already read the story once, so let's just do the analysis. Now, we know that the story is written in the third person narration. A Shadow explores the theme of loss and death. The death of the father has shaken both of them, has left both of them alone. Both means Sambhu and his mother. Sambhu misses his father very much, and the mother has not accepted his death yet. They can't they can't accept the fact that the father is no longer with them. So Sambhu and his mother are going through the similar circumstances, still they react differently. When the news comes that the last movie in which his father acted is going to be displayed on the cinema screens, Sambhu is very excited when he saw the posters around in the town. He is determined that he's going to watch the movie. He's very excited. Why? Because it's an opportunity for him. And he can watch his father for the last time, moving, singing, dancing, behaving the way he used to do with Sambhu. So Sambhu is really excited to relive the moments with his father. But the mother is completely shocked. She can't imagine the fact of seeing the father again alive in front of her eyes. And she is terrified with this idea. Now, Narayan presents the psychological insight of the character's mind through the last movie made by Sambhu's father. Now, we know that Narayan loves to delve deep into the psychology of human mind. So, here we have two characters whose minds are laid exposed in front of us. We know that Sambhu is in a very different bent of mind. He wants to go and watch every show of the film till the film is there in the cinema halls. He doesn't want to miss it. But his mother, she denies it completely. She doesn't have the courage to go and watch the father. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to see him alive again. She probably knows that it's going to be very hard for her. So she doesn't want to go. But Sambhu goes to the movie. Sambhu comes back, and the mother is waiting. She waits for Sambhu to come, and Sambhu tells her the entire story, what happened in the movie, how he liked it, how he enjoyed being in his father's company again. And the mother is listening silently. She listens to everything silently. So that silence of the mother speaks a lot about her psychology. That silence, that she is completely broken. She is gathering her strength to live on, to move on, but she can't without the father. So her life has stopped without her husband. There is the use of stream of consciousness technique as Sambhu and his mother reflect on their past experiences with the dead father. Now, when they go to watch the film, the mother also decides that she's going to watch the last show after Sambhu persuades her a lot. So she says, "Okay, fine, I'll watch the last show with you." But when they are watching the movie, there is stream of consciousness technique here. Now, what is this stream of consciousness? Stream of consciousness is when you reflect back to your past memories. When you think about them again and again, when you go back to the past and come back in the present, when your present is affected by your past, that is what we call the stream of consciousness technique. So here, when Sambhu and his mother, they are watching the movie, they reflect back on the past with every passing scene. They think about what had happened in their past, how they lived with the father. Sambhu's memories are pretty happy, but the mother is shocked to see him move the way he used to do when he was alive. He's reading the newspaper. He sits on his chair. He's reading the newspaper, and the mother realizes the last scene before the father's death. How he would read the newspaper, how he was sitting on the chair, and she had a fight with him for the last time over that newspaper. So this time also he's doing the same thing in the movie, and that was the point when the mother realizes again that the father is dead. So she has a fit, she cries, and probably she faints, and there is a hustle in the cinema hall, and some people take her outside for the fresh air. The movie is stopped for a while, and Sambu also realizes that it's the mother, and he asks a question: is she also dead? Has she also left me? So we can see the mindset of a 14-year-old child who is terrified now when he imagines that his mother is also going to leave him. But fortunately, the mother is alive. She comes back to her senses, and both of them they decide that they will go home. But the movie, which stopped a few moments ago, has started back, and Sambu heard his father's favorite words. Sambu heard that the father was scolding Kumari, the daughter in the movie. So the father is scolding Kumari, "Will you go out or shall I throw you out?" Sambu just listened to these words and started crying. Just like the mother had a breakdown, Sambu also has a breakdown when he realizes this is the last time he will be hearing his father, he will be watching his father, because the next day the movie will be taken off the cinema halls. So there is a deep loss, there is suffering, and there is silence. Still, the life must go on, like the movie, which becomes a powerful tool to revisit the old memories. We also have our photographs, we also create videos, and we like to go back to them. We miss our old friends, our old memories. So we revisit our old memories. So the story which was written before the independence so many years ago still has its relevance today, because that theme of loss and suffering is still there. So that was the story, A Shadow. Now let's revise a few important things which were there in the story. The first is Narayan deals with the theme of death and memory. What is the message communicated in this regard? The message that Narayan has tried to communicate here is that life stops for nothing. Life moves on, and you have to move on too. The next point is, why has Narayan chosen the title A Shadow? That shadow actually is the shadow of the father's death. Both the mother and the son, they are living in that shadow, and they don't realize it. They realize it only when the movie comes in the cinema hall and they go and watch that film. While watching the film, only they realize how they have not let the father go, how the father is still a part of their lives, and how they are missing him deadly, how their loss, their suffering has affected their lives. So it is the shadow of a loved one, it is the shadow of the departed soul, it is the shadow from which they are not able to come out. But the movie makes them realize it, and finally they are able to break free from the effects of the shadow. The third important point is how Sambu and his mother react differently to the scenes in the movie Kumari. Now, Sambu, when he watches his father teaching arithmetic to Kumari, scolding Kumari when she disturbs him while reading the newspaper, he likes it. He says that I know him better than you do. Okay, Sambu has a very possessive attitude for his father. Sambu doesn't like Kumari because Kumari is like a competition for him. Uh, Sambu loves his father. Sambu is here to see his father. So Sambu knows his father, and Sambu is delighted. Sambu likes it when he sits on the chair and reads the newspaper. Sambu likes the fact when his father is scolding Kumari. Okay, but the mother, in the same scene when the father is holding the newspaper, she doesn't like it because that was the last scene before the father's death. Sambu doesn't realize that Sambhu has a very different experience. He likes his father sitting on the chair and reading the newspaper. But the mother is terrified because she had a fight for that same newspaper. And that was the last thing she said to the father. When she saw him again, he was already dead. So both of them, they have different reactions. Both of them, they have contrasting attitudes towards what is going on in the film. The next important point is, why does Sambhu's mother not want to see the film? Because she doesn't have the strength. She still is living in her past. She's not accepting the fact that the father is dead. She doesn't want to accept it actually. Therefore, she doesn't want to go and see the movie, because seeing the father alive, singing, dancing, walking the way he used to do would be terrible on her. And the last thing, how does the story end? The story ends with mother having a breakdown first, then Sambhu having a breakdown, and both of them getting a jutka, that's a horse cart, getting a jutka and going back to their home. Both of them, they realize that the father is no more, but they also realize that they have each other. Sambhu and his mother, they are together. They are there. They are there to support each other. And they must go on. The life never stops for anything. So they have to let go of the shadow of the dead father. And they must move on in life. That is how the story ends. So this is where we will end our topic, a shadow. Thank you so much.